Rebellions are built on hope.
All right, so that kind of does it for our Star Wars talk. Now we go to our new segment, which we like to call A World Between Fandoms. All right, so A World Between Fandoms. You like that? Gotta put the TARDIS there. This is our third week doing A World Between Fandoms, and my third kind of video intro for it. I think I'm sticking with this one. It's not as long as the other one, not as loud, simple image, and the TARDIS. Because if you guys follow me on Twitter, doing a whole rewatch of Doctor Who, I love it. It's a great show. All right, so A World Between Fandom. Let's start. We gotta go. You know where I'm starting. It's Rings of Power. Come on, Rings of Power episode 3. I'm loving everything. Lord of the Rings. I'm loving everything that we're getting. The first two episodes were great. And then this third episode just takes it to another, I don't want to say another level, but it takes it in a very important direction, I would say. And this episode, and also for you guys out there that are just joining us now, or maybe your first time watching, we'll take the next 10 to 20 minutes to talk about other fandoms out there, something that's not Star Wars. We all love a lot of things more other than Star Wars. So we take the end of the show to talk about it, and it's all spoilers. So if you haven't watched the latest episode of Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, even She-Hulk, tune out, go watch them, come back and finish watching so you don't get spoiled. Rings of Power episode 3, at least for myself, benefited for a second watch. When I watched it the first time, I enjoyed it, but I think I was too hyped. How is this gonna connect? What's this mean? Oh, I know that name. So it was a lot. And it was a little bit slow at the beginning, and then it picks up the second half. But when I sat back down and watched it late yesterday afternoon, already knowing, okay, I know what's getting, let me just sit back. It flowed a little bit better. The pace was better. All the reveals were great. So yes, if you think it was a little bit slower, you didn't connect with it as much as the first two, just give it another watch because it worked for me, and now I really enjoy this episode. Come on, we finally got Numenor. I need to learn to speak or pronounce the enunciate like the Numeronians do, how the elves do every time they say Numenor and Morgoth and Sauron. I love all their enunciations. I want to be able to speak like them. But I love being able to see Numenor, that great city. Again, this episode was a history class, is what I like to say, and the good type of history. So if you have any vague kind of knowledge of the background of Lord of the Rings, a little bit more than just watching the movies, then this episode just kind of is an explosion for the senses, basically. And I don't consider myself a lore master or anything close to it for Lord of the Rings. But I did kind of read the appendices before Rings of Power came out. And every time there's a new episode, I kind of go on I forget the name, it's the Wikipedia for them, the One Ring Net, I think. I kind of make those connections. So I kind of keep up with what's going on because I hear names, Elendil and the Silmarils and all these little connections that they're making. It kind of enhances the season and the episodes. And Numenor was great. Everything with Elendil, which I love Elendil. I thought I was going to prefer Isildur because we know where it ends. Again, that's the great thing about this episode. We start getting introduced to those characters. Then if you only watch the Lord of the Rings movie, it still connects because Fellowship of the Ring starts with the battle against Sauron. We know that, sorry, Elendil's not going to make it. Sauron's going to kill him. But then Isildur takes his sword to cut the rings off. And then we get introduced to those characters today. And I'm like, I know how this is going to end. It's so sad, but it's so great. I love the character of Elendil, his relationship with Galadriel, taking her to the Room of Lore, or I think it was called the Room of Lore, or the House of Lore. It was great. And seeing that library, they made a connection to the map, was one of the big theories out there that Sauron's mark was actually a map to Mordor. And it's there. It's the Darklands, Southlands, East Mordor. It was great. It was great seeing that. And also, It's funny when they're talking about they found a map. It's to the Southland. That's where Mordor is. Oh, what about the inscription? Oh, it's talking about enacting a plan in case of Morgoth defeat, and connecting it now to Star Wars and Operation Cinder. That Sidious has had this whole plan. If I die, this is what you guys are going to do to then just create chaos. And this is the same thing. Morgoth, if I die, you're going to go to the Southlands, you're going to create chaos over there with Sauron. And then that brings us to Arondir. You know, I love my Puerto Rican elf. I love everything with Arondir so far. And seeing at the end of episode 2, he was taken hostage, or taken prisoner, I should say, by the orcs. And here we see that the orcs took all the elves from the watchtower, the watch warden, everyone's there. I love the love that Arondir and the elves have for nature, for that tree that was there before even the orcs were born, but they have to cut it. It's the only way for them to be able to see over the ridge and see the forest in the background, which is what the watch warden kind of told them. Hey, the first one of you guys that gets a chance to look over and locate the tree line, go for it. And for Arondir, this meant chopping down the tree. Of course, after his friend gets killed, doesn't see an option. So he goes there, kind of looks and see it, and then puts his hand on the tree and says something in Kenya, in Elvish, which then I found is just saying either I'm sorry or forgive me. Again, so much. It's great. That's the elves. But then also I love how they fight with the chains, doing these kicks, throwing it back to the orcs. We get the warg, which was creepy. That warg had human eyes, which I didn't enjoy. It was a great fight scene at the end. And unfortunately, the watch warden doesn't make it. He was able to escape, but he gets the Boromir treatment with a couple of arrows to the chest. But then the episode ends, bringing to Adar. Who the hell is Adar? They think it's Mordor. I mean Sauron, because Sauron uses a lot of names. He's a shapeshifter. We don't know who Adar is. He's coming out. He's out of focus, long black hair. Is he one of the... I don't know who Adar is. Adar, forget how they pronounced it. Is he one of the 9, the humans that then kind of help Sauron with the rings or get corrupted by the rings? A lot of people are saying he might be a fallen elf that now is helping Sauron. He kind of have that elf look. Very excited to see who Adar is. It's not Sauron, it's too easy. But maybe he is. I don't care. I just want to know who he is. Speaking of people, who's the stranger helping out the Proudfoots? And I mean, yeah, the Proudfoot, is it Nori Proudfoot? I think it is. And the proud fellow, poor Poppy, we learned that her family fell behind. Who's the stranger? A lot of people are saying that he might be Gandalf or maybe Saruman. Even though I want him to be a blue wizard, kind of Gandalf makes sense because I can't believe I forgot they're not hobbits. I always get a blank mind when I'm recording the Harfoots. So maybe the Harfoots are the antecedents of the hobbits. So the hobbits most of them came from the Harfoots, and if you follow the whole lineage, I think Sam is one. So anyway, do the Proudfoot kind of stay behind? They get lost and they have to settle. Nori is one that she wants to explore. She just doesn't want to be in this traveling band. Maybe they find the Shire and Hobbiton and kind of stay there, and the reason I think might be it kind of tracks for the stranger to be Gandalf. It's maybe this is where his love for the hobbits kind of came, because the Harfoots kind of took him in when he fell, and Nori's going to help him find the constellation. So maybe it kind of tries for it to be Gandalf. Still hoping for blue wizards, but again, doing a little bit of research might not work. I think the blue wizards are not there till another 1,000 years or something. Great episode. It kind of starts pushing the story in a different direction, or it kind of focuses a little bit more. We didn't get anything with um, Durin, and with, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting all names. The other elf, Elrond. We didn't get nothing with Elrond, Durin, Disa that we got in episode 2. That was great, but this is coming in episode 4. But I really enjoyed everything that we got in season 3. I mean, in episode 3. I'm really hyped for episode 4 to come out in a week or so. So yeah, Rings of Power is still kind of pushing it. Love everything that we're getting. All right, the next show, House of the Dragon episode 3. Again, another great third episode. Rhaenyra, I said it last week, she's grown into her own, and then this episode, she's now they're neck and neck as one of my favorite characters on the show next to Daemon. But Rhaenyra, again, just taking all her frustration out on this boar that was going to kill her. Is she going to be replaced as queen? Viserys had a son, he's 2 at the moment. Is he going to announce his son as heir and she's going to lose everything? So she's just pouring everything, her whole kind of soul into that boar when she just kind of leaves at the end, leaves the hunt and goes. So Kristen goes after her. And then, of course, she's the one that sees that white deer that's supposed to be kind of the sign of who's going to be the next heir or the next king or queen, the next ruler, I should say. And she's the one that sees it. It's not Viserys. He saw the brown one. So I love everything that we're getting with Rhaenyra. She's growing as a character. I love it. Her issues still with her dad. Again, and the politicking is a great thing about Game of Thrones that separates it from Rings of Power. Again, you don't need to compare shows, they're very different. But the politicking of this episode, the pieces are falling into place. In terms of Viserys has his heir, can have his male heir, even though he told Rhaenyra, no, I chose you for a reason. You're going to be the heir. It's not going to happen. The hand, Otto Hightower, is always in the background, moving pieces. Alicent, unfortunately, is just a pawn in his game. She might push for her son to be king. Daemon just went all out. He's like, little scroll when Viserys sends help. I'd rather die than accept help from my brother, the king. He just goes berserk. We say it every episode. He goes berserk, but this time he did it by himself. Didn't need dragons. The dragons weren't working. Head to head against the crab feeder army. Killed everyone. Also got the Boromir treatment with 3 arrows, so he survived them. It was fine. And then got help with the sea snake. Everyone came. And sea smoke, a new dragon, which was great. I didn't like the way he said Dracarys, just kind of nitpicking. But I love that scene of Daemon just going all out and then just coming with half the body, kind of, here I am. And again, pieces are falling into place. And if you saw the preview for the next episode, he's being crowned with King of the Narrow Seas or something like that. So how is that going to mess up with Viserys? Rhaenyra and Alicent having that battle now. So again, the pieces are falling into place of the big conflict. And very interested to see how this is going to go moving forward. And also, we know there's going to be a bigger time jump. There's already been like 3 years since the season started. There's another one coming. There's a bigger time jump that they change actresses. Rhaenyra and Alicent are going to be played by different actresses. I'm going to see how that plays out because I'm loving everything that... I don't know the name of the characters, of the actresses. I'm sorry, but I'm really liking Rhaenyra at this moment and the way she's being acted and portrayed. Gonna see how it feels when they change actresses. The only thing I didn't enjoy too much was I think they spent too much time in this great hunt. Spent like 40 minutes. Some great things in it. I think they just spent too much time on it. All right, so let me see what you guys are saying out there. Dale is saying he's watching episode 2 now, so he'll catch this out on the replay, which is fine. And he can't remember if he watched it, but can't skip to the end if I am. Pretty sure I have. That's fine, Dale. There's so much stuff out there that's difficult sometimes to can't remember about everything. Jay, you made it, Jay. We're almost done. But thanks for joining us today, Jay. Hopefully you can catch it on the replay. We had a great talk about everything Disney Plus Day, D23, talk about Mandalorian Season 3, the trailer, news on the Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Tales of the Jedi, a lot of stuff that we talked about, Jay. So thank you for making it today. And again, if you're watching this, if you just made it, make sure that you click that like button. It's good sometimes to see that number go up. Well, thank you guys for being here. All right, so House of the Dragon episode 4 comes out tomorrow. It's one of the great things. One of the reasons I love doing this little world between fandom segment is because I get to watch Rings of Power on Fridays. Then I talk about it today along with everything Star Wars. And then tomorrow we get the next episode of House of the Dragon. And in 2 weeks, halfway between on Wednesdays, we'll get in Andor. So it's going to be a very busy week. And then Thursday, we still got She-Hulk going. If you follow some of my tweets and also been watching our A World Between Fandom segments, I've been kind of meh with She-Hulk. I've enjoyed it, but not my favorite MCU show so far, probably on the lower half. But episode 4 was great. This is what I wanted the show to be, what I thought the show was going to be. It was funny, hilarious at times, poignant. It was a great episode. Of course, everything with Wong, with Madison, with 2 N's and a Y were great. Everything with She-Hulk and her alter ego with Jen Walters was great. How she kind of has to battle that people just want her as She-Hulk. I know not as her human self. So that was a great kind of scenes that we got. And like she said, it's Wong, so you have Twitter armor for a week. But I really enjoyed the show or the episodes. Hopefully going forward, it's similar. I think episode 5 is when we're getting Daredevil and Matt Murdock. We'll see how that goes. But episode 4, I'm back on track. I really enjoyed that show for that episode of She-Hulk. All right, guys. I think that kind of brings an end to today's show. Like I said, a lot of things went on. Yes, Jay, the Andor IMAX preview looked great. I'm sure on IMAX it looked even better. But it was great to see a little bit more. And we got another trailer, like I said. There was a little clip also that they showed on Good Morning America on Thursday during Disney Plus Day, which was pretty cool. We talked about that image about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's the one that Andor's there, and there's this huge alien next to it. We kind of joke how he was going to talk. And then some guy just threatening Andor and brings this alien as muscle. And Andor's like, really? You're putting yourself for this? You're here to intimidate him? I'm sorry, I don't know. I need the cash. I need the credits. So yeah, Andor looks great. Mandalorian Season 3 looks great. We got news. Ezra finally is found. A new actor has been confirmed for Ezra. A new casting announcement for The Acolyte. Skeleton Crew. So it was a lot. Again, a lot for Star Wars fans to kind of start salivating for everything Star Wars. It's been quiet. We keep saying it's been quiet in the world of Star Wars news. Not anymore. Now things are picking up. All right, guys. So that kind of does it for our main topics or all our topics today. Just remember for next week is our big sequel trilogy trivia challenge. We have 3 great contestants. One of our contestants dropped off. He's gonna be helping out with the podathon that's gonna happen the same day for about 12 hours. I don't know. It's gonna be a long one. But yeah, Jarrod is going to be helping with the podathon, so he couldn't make it to the trivia challenge. But we got 3 great contestants, and the winner of it was going to the final, our big Star Wars extravaganza lately. And I agree, The Acolyte. I'm also very looking forward to The Acolyte a lot. Casting announcement is starting, so. All right, guys. So as always, if you're here, if you're listening to this later, whenever, thank you for joining us. We had a great show. So it was a pleasure talking to you in our Star Wars Saturday for a couple of hours. See you next week. And then after that is Andor. So you know it. Stay safe. Be safe. May the Force be with you.